Hello again, a rabid internet fan base. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hemingway Land YouTube channel. So, as you can see, guys, we are back in Arizona this week, and more specifically, ba-boom, Mohave County. And I'm starting off the video this way because I want to do a little dissertation, if you will, with my thoughts on Mohave County before we get to the specific properties. And while we do this, guys, instead of making you stare at this screen, this boring and bland screen, nay, we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to cut to footage of adorable puppies, like this guy. Oh my god, look at this guy, he's so cute. And this guy, oh, that's so cute. I'm joking, guys, I can't see the dogs at all. The video editor's gonna put them in later. Anyway, here's the point. So, when we first started the business, 5.5 years ago, the second place that we ever bought and sold land in was Mohave County. We bought some land in Socorro County, we bought some land in Mohave County, and we sold it pretty soon after we bought it. And the reason for that is because I had no idea what I was doing, and I significantly underpriced the property. I was looking at, there was a property we sold a couple years ago for $999, literally. And I was looking at comps in that region recently, and the exact same like-type properties right now are selling for $15,000. $15,000. And, you know, even if we subtract out of inflation and assume $9,000, $10,000, something like that, it was a pretty good deal for the buyer. It's a pretty good deal. Anyway, the point is I have avoided the area for 5.5 years for a couple reasons. Number one is because Mohave County and a lot of Arizona, as I've explained in past videos, very easy to subdivide land out there. So everybody with a handshake and a smile who considers themselves an investor or a developer or whatever has been in this county. They've bought up land and they've subdivided it to, you know, ridiculous degrees. Much like what you see in Valencia County, New Mexico, where there's 60,000 parcels in one subdivision, Rio Grande Estates. What you will find in Mohave County is that there's roughly 8 bajillion pieces of land, and 7 bajillion of them are for sale at any one time. And a lot of those are what we call desert squares, middle of nowhere, square lot in the desert type of thing. And, you know, I've avoided the region because there are so many people online who are buying and selling land out there. It's competitive is not the right word, and yet it somewhat is. I don't know. But when you're trying to buy land from people and there's 12 other people trying to buy land, you get into more bidding wars than you really should, or at least more than I'm comfortable with, number one. Number two, I have not had a reliable photographer in Arizona. When you see today's images, about half of them, they could have left the lens cap on, and it would have been a little more compelling than what we're actually looking at. But, you know, you'll see. Point is, I don't have a reliable photographer in Arizona, and that makes me less curious or less willing to try and explore the area. Still working on it, though, guys. Additionally, however, number three is that as we're kind of trying to expand the business into more regions and into higher price points, you know, there's a lot to like about Mohave County. Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, pretty close to Laughlin, you know, or parts of it are pretty close to Laughlin if you want to go gambling. Colorado River, obviously. And as everybody who sells land online will tell you, oh my God, Las Vegas, 5 minutes away. Oh, it's super close. Drive to Las Vegas. After you get off work every day, drive to Vegas. Yeah, it's not really that close. For those of us who've done the drive, it's a very pleasant drive. It's a very nice drive, very picturesque, but it's not really close. I wouldn't call it close. Anyway, but a lot of people pitch it that way. Yeah, point being that I think it's a county worth exploring, and we, you know, we'll probably continue to do that and get into more larger dollar properties as time goes on. This week is a bit of an experiment week. The 2 properties we're listing this week, we had a guy who called us, said, hey, I want to sell these 2 properties. We said, all right, we'll give it a shot, and we'll see how you guys react to these. And the one property is in a pretty developed area. It's got a lot of nice amenities that I will talk about in a moment. And the other property is what I like to call leave me alone land, which is to say it's basically one of those desert squares I discussed earlier. Not necessarily my taste, may not necessarily be your taste, but it will probably be somebody's taste. Anyway, so the point is, guys, 4.5 minutes later, is that this is a bit of an experiment, a little Mohave County experiment this week. We'll see how you guys react to this. But it usually takes a little bit of trial and error, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, before I really learn a region well enough to say, oh, our buyers really like these 6 spots, and I can buy anything here, and we can sell it pretty quickly, and blah, 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 and it has a lot of appeal, and let's avoid these 3 or 4 spots because nobody wants that. That takes some work, and honestly, there's a lot of information out there about Mohave County to try and learn, to try and get that good at this region. So, for those of you who are still awake, we will veer now away from the footage of adorable puppies and back to, ba-boom, Mohave County. And more specifically, property number 1 going live on the website this week, guys. Because this one right here located, let's go to the map, within the town of Mead View, just 7 miles south of the South Cove Marina, which of course is no doubt ideal for boating, fishing, jet skiing, so on and the like. And do we have photos of the marina? Well, none that were in focus, but use your imagination, guys, or just stare at the stock footage, I guess. Whatever the case, we do have plenty of photos of the property, which sits here along Crescent Street in this developed region right here. And if we go to the photos, you will see what some of the nearby developed home sites look like, which is to say, pretty respectable. You've got some nice site-built SFR, some mobile, and some modular homes. It's a pretty good-looking neighborhood is my point. And of course, in an area like this, you will find power lines up and down every street and underground utilities on every lot, and the subject property is no exception. Both of those amenities run along the back or north end of the property, which of course should make this lot easier and more affordable to develop. Now, a couple things to note here, guys. First off, no matter how nice a neighborhood this appears to be, they apparently haven't gotten around to paving the roads yet. That said, the roads in this region all look to be of a pretty well-maintained dirt-gravel consistency, which should be easy to navigate in any vehicle type. The second thing is that this is a residential region, kind of place you build a home. Point being, this is not a recreational property, not one you camp or RV on. And third thing I want to point out is that this lot has what we like to refer to as an undulating topography, which is to say it's a little hilly and will likely require some grading and landscaping before you can begin building. That being said, that kind of looks to be the case with all the lots in this region, as you can kind of make out from some of the neighboring lots, such as this one and this one. Fortunately, guys, as is our custom here at Hemingway Land, when we find a property that's probably a little challenging to build on, we like to offer easy financing so as the buyer can pay for the land while they are simultaneously paying to develop it. And this lot is no different. On this one, we've got terms you see here on the screen, and of course, the land contract is linked on the listing page so as you can review it prior to placing your deposit. Moving on to property number 2 this week, the aforementioned Leave Me Alone land. We find ourselves in the Lake Havasu Estates subdivision, a massive rural residential sub occupying roughly this area right here, and more specifically, the parcel in question can be found in the easternmost end of the sub, over here. Now, it should be noted, guys, before we get to the property, that this does sit in close proximity to the I-40, roughly about 7 miles west of the land, with fairly good roads between the two, so you will have easy access to that. And if we pull back just a bit on the map, you will see that that's extra convenient, because we'll get you back and forth pretty easily to either Kingman, 20 minutes to the north, or Lake Havasu itself, 20 minutes to the south. In short, guys, we're equidistant to the two major population centers in the county, which means you will have easy access to grocery supplies, Walmarts, and Home Depots, plural, which should help you when you start to develop the property. Speaking of the property, if we go back to the photos, you will see that this one will take a little extra work to domesticate, as it does not have the typical utilities we look for, no power, no telecom. They stop a few blocks east of the highway and well before this parcel. In addition, guys, while the roads out to the land are in pretty good condition, the last half mile as you turn off the property gets a little sandy, though I have been told it's still pretty easy to traverse. All that said, you do have some nice Joshua trees on the land, some striking views of the nearby mountains, and if you are the type inclined to want to own an inexpensive piece of land you can RV or camp on a couple months out of the year, maybe during the winter, this may be the property for you. If it is, you'll be glad to know that much like the first parcel, this one also has easy financing offered on it, as we do expect the cost of both land and developing the land to be a little bit more than the average person would like to shoulder all at once. Point being, with the financing option, you will be able to more affordably tackle both. With all that said, going live on the site next week, we are back yet again, people, in the Silver State with a veritable potpourri of small residential lots and large remote ranch properties. Till such time, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good week, and we will see you back here in 168 hours.